Oh, I don't know. They disappeared. Oh, there's the name. Oh yeah, it is Gab. I was like, who's this? Why is the name different?
But it doesn't look like him anymore.
Creative juice.
One, a good reunion because I haven't seen you guys in forever. And
Yeah, it's been like a year already, or almost 2 years.
more than 2 years, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I usually go every year. Last year is the first time I didn't go at all. All I know, I had a video chat with my cousins and Manila. Everyone's like, yo, your hair is so long. And I was like, yeah, I don't look like a boy anymore. I know you guys hated my haircut. Yeah, but you're the opposite. You cut your hair. So we're like, did the
But
opposite.
like even Daryl's like growing his hair.
Yeah. 2 months, no haircut.
Yeah, but still, it's not as drastic as this long, you know?
Oh, yeah.
With
Yeah,
my mustache and my hair.
no way. Can you grow facial hair, Daryl?
No.
No.
I only have this kind of soul patch if I try.
Oh, man. I think that's like an Asian thing. Unless,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it depends on what kind of Asian. I don't, maybe
Once I buy a new phone.
what phone do you use right now?
I'm still using the iPhone 6.
Oh, there's nothing wrong. My mom, I mean, not comparing you to my mom, but she and my sister, they still have the 6 also. I'm always the one who wants to be like, you know, up to date, but I'm not even up to date. I only have the 10, and now there's like the 11 or whatever. Yeah.
I'm gonna be using my 10 until like 2030 for sure.
Unless you can't plug your phone anymore and
Yeah.
something happens.
Yeah.
Are you guys the type to drop your phones? Like I don't know. I don't understand. Like I could be on the train and I see all these people with cracked screens. For me, I'm like, I can't drop my phone. Like my
I
phone.
always thought I would be that guy, but I've never done that to my phones.
Yeah.
'Cause I really literally drop my phones, even my cameras, but I never get cracked screens.
Yeah, same.
People are wild.
You
I
question
don't know how
what they
that can
do.
happen.
Yeah. No, if it's a camera, oh man, like my heart drops. Right?
Especially if it lands on the lens side.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could easily buy a new body, but the lens, wow. Especially if you're
I
using a
guess I
rare
don't drop
lens.
my cameras. It's just that they're usually in a really risky what you call it. Like I put it on the edge of the table or like the chair or whatever, and people are just always cringing. What the fuck?
Yeah, same for
But
me.
nothing bad ever really happens.
No, I was gonna say is I always find myself having my camera and then the camera strap like falling like it's hanging off the table, and I would get shitted on so many times by someone saying like Joan, like your camera, like you can't leave it like that. Like why do you do that? And I'm like, I don't do it on purpose. It just happens to be that way. But then now I became so self-conscious about it because I guess it's been so many times that someone's told me. So yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to look like the careless mother, you know?
Yeah, I still feel like the careless mother. Everyone's always like, "Oh, do you bring a camera with you every day?" I'm like, "No." So I always feel bad because for me, I'm okay. Like, yeah, I want to shoot analog, let's say, all the time, but I'll admit, like, I don't find a lot of fulfillment bringing a point and shoot everywhere, or I feel like I'm more of a medium format shooter. So, like when we shot, I still have the Yashica camera, and I still like the negatives and the photos I take with that than any camera that I have. And for me, if I'm just walking around, I'd rather use my phone.
Yeah.
Have you tried shooting people in the street with that? Your Yashica?
So what I would do back then, well, for me, because I'm a perfectionist, right? So every time I walk around, I'm always like, hey, like, oh, there's like this person, they're for some reason they're attracting my eye, and I need to go follow them to the point that I tap them and I'm like, hey, can I take your photo? And then I tell them that like how I want it to be, how the composition is, and then it's like not a street photo anymore. So
Yeah.
I feel like I suck with that. I don't know how to be in the moment and just take photos of. Also, there was one time, it wasn't with that camera though. I was in the subway, like waiting for the train, and I just like held it was a 35, the Canonet camera, and I just shot these two girls who like really look fashionable, and then when I turned around like to like look like I wasn't shooting them, they were like, they yelled out, they're like, oh, you could have just asked us, but you know, they sounded angry, and I was like, oh shit. And then I know already that's not who I am to not ask a person, but I just was like, you know, sometimes obviously the best photo is when they're candid and not necessarily all the time when they're posed, which I'm used to. So then the one time I try to do something that's not posed, it's like, oh, I got in trouble. So then I got turned off by doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get those encounters quite a lot also. I
Well,
like them. I think I like them, that's why.
you like when
Um,
people yell at
I
you?
like the awkward situation. It's like a guilty pleasure. And I like saying that, no, I can shoot you. I don't like to be a jerk, but sometimes when they approach me like that, like there was a one time like they were mailmen, but I forget the it's not FedEx, but like they approached me and they're like, you can't do that. You can't do that because like you're shooting us and you're not asking. I'm like, I can. This is a public and then he called his friend and he's like, yep, you can't do that. And I was like, no, I can. I just kept saying I can. We're in a public place. You can't you can't tell me that I can't.
This was
But like I could
Valley.
like most of the time that, oh no, I'm not shooting. Oh, okay. They would be like that. But I just felt like, because he was so mad. And I don't know, I think it's a kind of like a guilty pleasure, those encounters for me. Because I like, you know, the pleasure encounters, and sometimes there's the awkward, and sometimes there's that, you know, mad, angry people. And I think it's all part of the thing and kind of enjoy it. The scariest one was I was in the subway, New York subway, and I saw this family. So usually when they're kids, I don't shoot, but I wasn't shooting them. I was shooting some other people, and this woman approached me, Russian. They were Russian, so I think that's what made it scarier. And he's like, "Don't shoot me!" Da 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 da. And I'm like, "Not even gonna look at you," because the guy was huge, like bodybuilder type of huge, bald Russian guy, and he was walking towards me, and I just stopped and turned the other way, and there was a crowded subway, and I was like, fuck, was he gonna strangle me to death or something? Because he was really scary, like huge guy. So I didn't want to be in a confrontation with him. So
So you ended up not taking that photo, right?
I did, but I just didn't want to, because like most of the time, just I stand my ground, and if they want to have the conversation, I'd stand there and be like, no, I can shoot, blah, blah, blah. But
Oh, you're saying that you didn't just talk back to them after you shot it.
no,
After she brought it up, yeah.
the guy literally could have, you know, squashed me with
Mutual,
one hand.
yeah. And then you'll
So how
never
did it end?
know. Yeah.
Huh?
How did it end?
I just walked away and they didn't follow me anymore. But I think the girl got pissed because I wasn't looking at her or responding to her. Because I find it harder when there's a language barrier. You can try to communicate, but they really wouldn't. Like when you're in China, most of the time, like people just get frustrated with you. I
Right.
don't know if you guys have experienced that, but in China, for the most part, like I get into weird ass conversations because they just get so frustrated so fast. Especially people trying to sell you stuff like, no, 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 and you're like, no, I don't want to buy it. You don't want to buy it. Da, 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 da. So I just have this little trauma with language barriers.
You don't ever try just speaking Tagalog, so then they just get annoyed too, and or they just think that you don't speak English, so you guys will never even understand each other, so they'll be like, what's the point?
I
That's
think
like
that might work better with people who actually speak good English, because I think, let's say in America, like for the most part, they're more compassionate, I guess, with people who can't speak English.
No, but I'm saying like your situation, like she's Russian, right? And then if you spoke
Yeah.
Tagalog, she might be like, "Oh, he doesn't even understand me for
Yeah,
sure."
yeah, you could be right. Yeah, I could have tried. I should have tried that actually.
And then you could have just like cursed her out in Tagalog, and she
Hey,
would have
dude,
even known.
can't wait.
Yeah. And then she would have like thought you were complimenting her or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.